Last time we learned what happens when you haul cargo through Pyro under fire. This time, it's all business. No pirates, no ambushes, just clean trade routes, raw profit, and the systems that keep the Headhunter's economy running. 432 hasn't been kind to really anybody. Bugs, broken terminals, and to be honest, the player base seems to be thinning out because there's so many problems with this patch. But for those of us still flying, there's money to be made if you know where to look. Today, we're running the best Headhunter trade routes in Pyro without the chaos. I'm Saxawine with SC Haulers, and let's get into this haul. So we're starting where we left off last time. We are at the Golden Riviera, and I just want to check on the Osoian hides real quick. But what we're doing here is purchasing the Etam. And we're going to focus on doing a intra-system trade route. And so what that means is we are only trading within Pyro. And so we're not going to stand. We're not doing any of those routes right now. We're going to start with the top. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to start with the top trading routes that I do while I'm in Pyro. And the number one commodity that I trade while I'm in Pyro is Etam. It's very easy to get. There are multiple locations for headhunters that I get from, and it sells really well. What was that? Why did my raft blow up? We are 2 for 2 right now. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's hard death. Maybe the thrusters just popped off. That's still really inconvenient. Well, the elevator's working, so that's a plus. There's a tire rolling in the side. That was probably from a mule, if I had to guess. Maybe a mule spawned in and just collided with the raft. Oh, well, all the power is on. I think we're in luck. Yeah, we are good to go. We just got to get off Bloom now. Okay, so going back to Etam. Etam is only sold in 3 places: Ashland, the Golden Riviera, and Fallowfield. On this particular purchase, the Golden Riviera actually had prices lower than what Ashland did according to UEX. So that was $73.92, I believe, and UEX is reporting Ashland being at $74.59. So one recommendation I will make while you are in Pyro is just make pit stops to multiple locations. So like take a pit stop to Ashland one time, take a pit stop to Golden Riviera, or even if you have a commodity that can sell at those locations, like bioplastic maybe, like, and that's just an example, I'm not sure. But if you can find a commodity that takes you to those places, just so you can check out what the prices are, go ahead and do that, because UEX is updated by players, and players don't always have the most updated, or UEX doesn't always have the most updated data for these locations. So I am currently looking at UEX right now, and it says Fallowfield was updated 2 days ago, Golden Riviera 4 days ago, and Ashland 6 days ago. So just take these prices with a grain of salt. Players will always go for the location on UEX that has the best value. And so Ashland might have the best value on UEX, and then they go there and they don't check the prices. They just buy everything there, and then they lose money because it's through the roof because everybody is there. So go around and check your prices. As for places that you can sell, you can go to any of the non-primary space stations. So Dudley and Daughters, Rod's Fuel and Supplies, Patch City, Starlight, Endgame, Gaslight, Rat's Nest. They all purchase Etam for the same price. So with that, if you can get it at that 7.3K profit, they are all buying Etam for 9,468. So you are making a 1.1K profit per sale. Now I want to follow that up with why I am in a raft and not some other ship like a C2 or a Starlancer Max or something like that. These locations can only purchase generally up to 120 to 180 SCU of this stuff. So having a larger ship like a Caterpillar, C2, Polaris, whatever, it's not going to be worth it because they move so much slower within the atmosphere, and it's going to take you a lot longer to get those ships filled up. And then even if you sit there and stock your ship for a while, it's going to take you a long time to sell this stuff. So that's why I use the raft. Smaller loads get around faster. Another route that I like to do is starting at Starlight Service Station, actually. And you can purchase Cobalt there. And you can get a full stack of Cobalt. And you can go sell that down at Ashland over at the Golden Riviera. If you can sell all of it at the Golden Riviera, that is a huge profit for a very short route. So you can make roughly 1K per SCU whenever you go down to the Golden Riviera to sell that. For my CFP friends, you can go to Canard View and sell it there. That is the best price as far as I know for Cobalt. But you can also go to Rod's Fuel and Supplies if you just want to go station to station. So that is one of my easier routes. You can purchase Cobalt. I prefer Starlight Service Station, but you can also buy it at Bueno Ravine and then go sell it somewhere else. So this is a list of commodities that I went and traded in Pyro. And you can see that majority of it is Etam. But this is over a period of 4 hours. There were a lot of long breaks. There were times when I was just sitting in a station just talking to my buddies in Discord. And you can see that during that 4 hours, I made 2.5 million in profit. I had to spend 6 million, like 6.2 million in order to make that 2.5 million profit. And so in total, sales were 8,754,000, and I traded a total of 2,800 SCU of cargo. Now there is one more intra-system route that I like to take, but this one can also be substituted for the inter-system, and inter-systems means going from Pyro to Stanton or vice versa. And this is going to start at one of my favorite locations to do commodity trading, which is Last Landings on Terminus. So the cool thing about Last Landings is that every commodity that's on this terminal sells really well at other locations. So you have Atlassium, construction materials, diamantium, scrap, and neon. Like, Last Landings generally has the lowest prices for all of them. Not for everything, but most of them. And so for an inter and intra system route, what I prefer to do is grab the neon, as much neon as I can. And then if I'm looking for total profit, I will take the neon over to Stanton and sell it at one of the breaker yards. Generally, it's over at Orinth. And the reason I pick Orinth is because you can buy diamonds at Orinth as well, and then get rid of a bunch of that deadhead out of your routes as you can. Now, this particular time, I am going to do construction materials because I can't get a full load of neon. And we are going to go sell this at her L4. Well, we're going to try to sell it at her L4. We're going to see what happens. Her L4 is the hottest spot right now to sell construction material. Construction material is also another one of those that you could sell either intra or inter. And so it just sells really, really well right now, and the prices tend to be somewhat low. But overall, like, if you don't have enough neon at the location, you could go pick up the construction material, or vice versa. If you don't have a lot of either of them, then you could just purchase both of them and go sell them at two separate locations. Like, pick up 20 SCU of, or pick up like 100 SCU of construction material, pick up the other 90 SCU of neon, go sell one at Herel 4, go hit up the reclamation Orinth and sell the neon, pick up some diamond, so on and so forth. Trading commodities is not easy if you're looking for easy profit. In nature, it sounds like it is, but overall, it is not. And this next one is kind of a hot spot. Like, everybody is picking up bioplastic right now, but bioplastic is probably the best commodity to buy and sell if you're doing trade commodities. And you could pretty much pick it up at one of the like 5 locations in Stanton and then go sell it in Pyro and just make boatloads of money. And I'm not going to get into that because I'm fairly certain most of you already know about it. But that being said, if I do pick up a commodity in Pyro and come to Stanton to sell it, this bioplastic is a good reason to take me back to Pyro from Stanton, and so the option is there. So there's 2 intra-system routes that I like to do if I find myself in a spot where neon or construction materials are taken from both Rustville and Last Landings. And Rustville doesn't have construction materials, but it does have neon. But these other 2 intra-system routes, I don't do them very often. But they are both Widow or Trusha toxin that are sold at Rat's Nest. And then I will take them to one of the scrap yards. Or I will go to Shepherd's Rest and get fresh food. And Shepherd's Rest tends to be a little bit high on cost for fresh food. But if you can sell it, or excuse me, if you can buy it and then go sell it in Stanton at one of the HTMSs on Hurston, you can actually make a really good profit off of it. And so I'm looking at the numbers on UEX. This was updated 2 days ago. Fresh food at Shepherd's Rest sells for 18.4K per SCU. The user average was 16.431 SCU. So that's actually really, really low. Now, you can go sell these at HTMS Hadley, HTMS Stanhope. There's a whole slew of locations at Stan that you can sell this for. There's also a slew of locations in Pyro you can sell it for. And so generally the locations in Pyro sell for 19K. The locations in Stan sell for 21K. And so HTMS Hadley, for instance, reported 3 days ago. Actually, we'll use this one. HTMS Thetis reported 3 hours ago at 21,308. So you can make a really good profit off of fresh food going from Shepherd's Rest to Hurston. Okay, so this is my log from later in that morning, 10:28, and I did 3 particular routes here. And one of them you saw, actually 2 of them you saw, which is the construction materials and then the bioplastics. And then I did a Rustville neon to Brio's Breaker Yard, and that was my final trade before I had to leave to go do family stuff. So you can see it took me about 2 hours, and it shouldn't have taken me that long to do these 3 trades, but I was like interacting with my kids and stuff, so breaks had to be taken. But in a little less than 2 hours, I was able to make a profit of 1.7 million, almost 1.8 million. But that being said, in half the time, I was able to make up 3/4 of what I did doing the intra-system routes. So if you were to be consistent with this, you could easily make over that 2.5 million mark. So that wraps up today's run. These have been some of my favorite and most profitable routes in Pyro. All of this information is available in my Discord exclusively in the YouTube members section. So if you're a channel member, you can see your name on screen right now, but you can access it anytime. And to all my current members, thank you. You're the reason I get to keep flying, testing, and sharing everything in Star Citizen industry related. Let me know in the comments what routes have been most profitable for you. And as always, fly safe, keep hauling, and we'll see you at the next haul. Love you, bye.